Whoa now, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in Rimworld. We got it on plus 500% threat scale. And if you want to see the mod list, here you go. As you can see, it's quite extensive. Including one, Endless Rimworld. Meaning that if the colonists die, the game is not over, and a new player will enter the space. We'll be going with a tribal start, so let's get into it. According to their beliefs, the gods were very angry with them. The blood machines, as they called them, came at night, sweeping through their village, cutting and burning people with their blades and what these people refer to as devil fire. Only these 5 escaped. Now, after a harrowing journey, with no friends to turn to, they must build a new home in the wilderness, like their ancestors did. First thing to do is to set up a stockpile. Now that they have a place to put things, they make sure to get all of the stuff they were able to take with them in the escape in one place. Having just escaped near death, the value of a good defense is not lost on this tribe. Nor is the importance of a place to sleep. Having a roof over your head can be a luxury in situations like these, but it's also a necessity. Also necessary, a research table so they can get out of this poverty. And to sustain their bodies, a place to grow rice. Now that the settlement is more established, it's time to move the stockpile indoors. All while continuing to work on the defensive spike hallway that will serve as their main line of defense should something attack. As night falls on the first evening, sporadic work continues on the spike hallway. Some are already asleep. Others finally decide to drift off, and so ends the first day. Taking advantage of a rather uneventful evening, I set out plans for even more of the spike hallway, and as the tribe's people wake from their slumber, they slowly make their way over and begin to work on it. One important need for the spike hallway is the ability to access the spike traps without having to walk onto them. Hence all the doors. Gotta make sure to close off any other access points so that all threats are funneled down the hallway. As night falls once again and most of the access ways are completed, I can begin placing the spike traps that will fill this hallway. One more safe and productive day in the books. Our tribespeople head off to bed, eager to see what the next day brings. On the 3rd of April in the year 5500, a solar flare began to strike this planet. Luckily for these people, they do not have any electronic devices as yet. Unfortunately, this would not be the only hardship that would rear its ugly head. A heat wave as well. This one could definitely have an effect on the tribespeople. And so I am forced to apply temperature control technology to the colony. Most of the tribespeople are hard at work building the spike traps that will serve as their defense, along with the colony's location, deep in the mountains. As you can see, this world is densely populated, and you never know where threats may come from. We're finally able to upgrade the floors in the house to hardwood. Noticing the research table had not been finished yet, I finally realized I didn't have any steel in the inventory. So Bia went out into the heat to fetch some steel and finish the research table, which she immediately began using. Long after everyone else was already asleep, Bia, researching late into the night, finally decided to pack it in and hit the hay. And so ends day 3. Early the next morning, Kaikam is the first to awaken and goes straight to the research bench. He gets a couple hours of research in before finally getting hungry. As a new day dawns, it's still dangerously hot out there. Other tribespeople finally awaken, and the colony comes back to life. Still needing to be completed, all of these spike traps. They also complete a stove, allowing them to cook meals and thus not starve. Given the temperature outside was topping 129 degrees Fahrenheit, I felt it best to bring everyone in and stay inside for a while. After the sun went down and the temperature was back on the decline, it was okay to let people out again, and they quickly went back to work on the traps. Getting comfortable with their surroundings, a few of the colonists decide to play a game of horseshoes. Caxigo makes sure the coolers are fueled and then turns in for the evening. And so ends day 4. At about 3 in the morning on day 5, a transport pod crashed nearby. Its sole inhabitant damaged but alive and mobile, the being was able to get up and walk out of view. Good luck to you out there. Bia, in an effort to keep everyone fed, decided to take a long trek to pick up an alpaca corpse. Work is continuing on the spike traps as Bia finally makes it back with the meat fibers. They're going to need all that they can get if they're going to prosper. Having been here long enough, they came up with a name for their community. It's known as Nibando, and their faction, the Coalition of the Tree. In an effort to get more living space, the colonists begin to mine out the walls and expand the room. The heat wave is over, and everyone turns in for the night, comfortably, to get rest for the day ahead. And so ends day 5. As usual, Kaikam is the first to awaken. Being a quick sleeper, he tends to be the first one to get up. Today, a couple of architects decided to wander into the area. Architects are an extremely advanced race of basically androids. They don't seem to be hostile, so work continues on the hallway unabated. Here we see Kaikam and Gazbo setting up a field to grow hay grass. It's a busy day here in Nabundo, as yet another group happens to wander in. The two visiting groups seem destined for an unscheduled meeting out in the wilderness. Not only are the groups not hostile to one another, but two of them even seem to have a past relationship, exchanging pleasantries. And it seems we have a pair of visiting Thrumbus in the area, a gentle creature by nature, but extremely deadly when enraged. A majority of the spike traps are either nearly completed or completed, and as the evening winds down, Caxico makes sure to have a few more meals on hand for the morning, before turning in. And so ends day 6. Quick sleeper Kaikam is the first one up, gets in some breakfast and goes straight for the research bench. He feels like he's really onto something. I'm pretty confident that today's the day they're going to finish this hallway. Thanks to Brinro Croiler, the animal pen is finished. Now, someone just needs to go get the horse and bring him into the pen. A small part of the rice field is ready for harvest. It took a full week, but the defensive hallway is done. 169 traps just waiting to kill something. To get to the cave a bit easier, I order a tunnel to be dug. They could also use a bit more storage space. Kaikam had a hunch and it paid off. Hello, electricity. While the electric age is being born in town, Caxico is framing up a bridge to cross the river. From deep in the caves, Bia, followed shortly by Brinro Croiler, haul the last of the resources needed to finish the wood-fired generator. Generator finished, fueling it is for another day, as Brinro Croiler finally decides to hit the hay. And so ends day 7. Sometime after 2 in the morning, chunks of spacecraft crashed in the far reaches of this region. Thankfully, it was so far removed from the colony that nobody was even awakened. Now that the colony can generate electricity, it's time to lay out some power lines and put down some lighting. Now that the animal pen is complete, Bia decides to go rope in Isel and get her safely put away. Here we see Kaikam and Caxico collecting corpses spotted by Bia while she was roping the horse in. Even more of the rice field is ready to harvest. Just in time as the storage room is being expanded. Some random capybara liked what we were doing, so Bia roped him into the pen too. I lay out plans for some rudimentary bedrooms, set up a spot to grow some bamboo instead of continuing to deforest the local area. Gazbo is the last one to turn in for the evening, and so ends day 8. The colony sure has grown a lot in these 8 days, from finishing the spike hallway to literally inventing electricity. Join me next time as we continue to follow along with the daily life in Nabando.
Hello, Alex. You're first.
Nar. What's that, Alex?
Alex Doscious. It's got a great name. And I'll leave it at that.
Hey guys. If you like what you saw, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.
Alex, Doscious, whatever.